homosexuals, alright, are set for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Now, I broke that down in the last lesson, okay? Which these guys try to come up, well, the video you played, alright, that video, which there are pictures, genius, you big dummy, alright, this is not the real Sodom and Gomorrah, because the real Sodom and Gomorrah is just ashes.
And the brother pulled out a Sodom and Gomorrah video. Listen, my brother, that video that you pulled out, that's not the real Sodom and Gomorrah. Because the real Sodom and Gomorrah is straight ashes.
Okay, we don't get that from him.
Well, that further validates the point I made, unless I'm just a complete idiot, because you can't do archaeology and excavation in a place that's burning with eternal fire. You get burnt up. I mean, do I have to say that again? Do I have to repeat myself? Alright? Or am I so sane that I sound crazy? I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know how the hell to explain it to you. Alright? That further validates the point I made in the last lesson. If a place is just ashes, unless there's some crazy amount of radiation there, you can do excavation in archaeology. Okay? And Sodom and Gomorrah are not on fire unto this day. And I showed pictures of that. Alright? And I even have a book on that. And I have an article on that. Alright? I didn't just, when I brought that up, just shoot that out of my ass. Alright? Unlike what you guys are doing. Okay? So now let's go to Daniel. Or actually, first I'm going to go to Isaiah 34. And I'm going to start at 1. And just read almost the whole chapter. Alright? Because this is pretty much talking about the same thing in Revelation the 18th chapter. America, or Babylon the Great, burning forever and ever. Okay? But we're going to prove, reading the scriptures, that it's not going to be for forever and ever. Alright? Now, the next scripture we're going to go into in Daniel, the 7th chapter, is a different story, which we're going to get into that. Alright? But this is going to further prove the point I'm trying to make. Okay? So, first, I'm just going to start at verse 5. Okay? Isaiah 34 verse 5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment." We all know it's talking about the thermonuclear missiles, which the Lord put the spirit on the so-called white man and his scientists to build. Okay? Because you guys are talking about in the video, you think the Lord needs some man-made device to kindle that fire, or is it already prepared?
Another thing because they're trying to come up with how the lake of fire is going to come to be. So nuclear missiles is the only excuse that they can come up with, or the only thing that makes sense in their mind. But when you look at, before I go into the rest of our lesson, when you look at a volcano that's active, or you see some earth that crack and open up and then lava come up, what's keeping that lava hot? Did a missile have to make that lava hot? Or what's making that lava hot for all these centuries and years? What's keeping that hot? So you think the Lord needs some man-made fire for his lake of fire? Or you think he already got that fire prepared?
That's already kindled.
Prepared. You just don't see it yet.
Something to that effect. Alright? The Lord put the spirit on the so-called white man to make those missiles. So it's his technology, not the so-called white man. Alright? It says verse 6, "The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah," which represents America, because Bozrah was a chief city in Idumea. Alright? "And hath a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of the recompense for the controversy of Zion." Let me scroll down. Verse 9, "And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. It shall not be quenched day nor night. The smoke thereof shall go up forever and ever." We're going to come into that word one more time. Alright, I'm going to keep reading. "From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, and the owl also and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the lion stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. And it shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and their princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court for owls. And the beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the islands, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, and the screech owl shall rest there, and shall find herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures, Salakia, also be gathered, everyone with her mate. Okay, now wait a minute. If that fire mentioned here in verse 10, which we're about to go into the definition, if that fire is going to be burning forever and ever in that land, all right, that great sacrifice in the land of Idumea, if that fire is going to be burning forever and ever, meaning never ending, for the rest of eternity, for the rest of time, right? How is it that all these animals are going to be dwelling in that same area? Explain that for me. I would like to ask you guys to explain that for me, because I know you guys watching the videos. That's why you did another rebuttal. So explain how all these animals are going to dwell, all these desert creatures are going to dwell in a land that's going to be on fire for the rest of time, for the rest of eternity, forever. The lake of fire. Alright? So now, let's go into the Hebrew, Salakia. Alright? It says here, there's two definitions for the word forever. Okay? I'm going to read here. It says, it shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever unto from generation unto generation. It shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever. Alright? So now, let's read the first forever. It's Ilawam. I'm sorry, Ilawam. Or Ilawam. Alright? Let's read what the Hebrew is. It says here, now this is talking about the smoke going up after the fire, from the lake of fire that's going to be burning here. It says here, a long duration, antiquity, futurity, forever, ever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient world, ancient time, long time, of past, of future, forever, always, continuous existence, perpetual, everlasting, indefinite, or unending future eternity. Alright? Now, it proves it's talking about a long time or a long duration, because we read that in that same area where that smoke's going to be going up forever and ever, eventually there's going to be desert creatures dwelling there. Okay? So, it's not talking about never ending. Alright, and I'm actually curious about this word antiquity, so I'm going to go into the etymology and look up this word antiquity just to see what it means. Alright, I didn't even previously look up this word, but I want to see. Okay, it says here antiquity, late 14th century, olden times, from French and antiquated, Salakia, olden times, great age. Alright, a great age. So for a long time that fire is going to be burning. Okay? Alright? It's gonna be a long part of history, alright, as to how long that fire is gonna be burning, how long that smoke's gonna be going up. Alright, after the destruction of Great Babylon takes place. Alright? So that's what it's talking about. Alright? Long duration, antiquity. Alright? That's what it's talking about, because we already proved that eventually there's going to be desert creatures dwelling in the same land where that fire and that smoke's going to be going up. So it can't be talking about an unending, never-ending period of time. Okay? It's not talking about that. Just put on your thinking caps. Alright? It's logical. Alright? The only other conclusion would be to say that the scriptures are contradicting themselves. And they're not. Alright? So you guys need to do more study. Okay? Now, let's go to Isaiah. I'm sorry, I almost forgot. Now, let's go to the next forever, which is mentioned down here, because it says, it shall lie waste, and none shall pass through it forever and ever. And that's talking about people. Okay? It's talking about people, because I believe later in this same chapter, Alright? Or in the 13th chapter it says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Alright? There's not going to be any people dwelling here forever and ever. Alright? Now let's see what this word here in the Hebrew is where it says forever. Alright? And as you can see, these two have the same definition, same word. Alright? So let's see here. It says, eminence, perpetuity, strength, victory, enduring, everlastingness. Alright? This key word, everlastingness, eminence, enduring of life, endurance of time, perpetual, continual unto the end, everlastingness, ever. Okay? And after America is destroyed, there's never going to be a people that dwell here anymore, according to the scriptures. So this has to be talking about unending, unlike the previous forever we just read, which was a totally different Hebrew word. Alright, and I'm actually curious about this word, so let's go look up the definition. Alright, in the etymology, let's check it out. Let's see what it says.